So here's the warm-up that we're going to be doing today. So keep in mind you can do this for an individual client or with a class setting. So we're doing 2 rounds of high knees, butt kicks, toy soldiers, lunges, golfer stretch, the dynamic lunge, forward folds, and PVC shoulder circles. So we have 2 options for each movement depending on your client or class's ability, so you can scale this however you need to and also use it as a progression. So going right into it, right now I'm doing the slow version of the high knees, so just getting my knees up to my chest, and then going right into the fast version. So a lot of quick steps, a lot of high touches. Coming back, I'm doing the slow version of the butt kick, just trying to get the heel to the butt, and then again picking it up. On the way back, I'm going right into toy soldiers, so keeping legs straight, good hip flexion here. And then I'm going as high as I can go. So again, it's whatever your client or what your class can do, have them do that, and just try to use it as a progression system to get a little bit further, a little bit higher on all the movements. Then we're going right into golfer stretch. So this is the not full range of motion, obviously. I'm just kind of going halfway down whatever I can. And then full range of motion. So this is going to work on stability as well and balance. And then I'm going to go right into my half step lunges. So keeping a good vertical torso. And then once I'm ready, I'm going to go all the way down to the full lunge. Okay? We don't want the knee tracking over the toes. We want it right over our ankles. Now for some other stretches, we have the dynamic stretch. So again, you can see his knee's not tracking over his toe, it's staying behind it. He has a good vertical torso here, so chest straight up. He's trying to get that hip as far to the ground as he possibly can, working on the hip flexors. Right after that, he's going right into the forward fold. Okay, so legs are straight, he's hinging at the hips and going as low as you possibly can. Again, we don't want to bounce here, we just want to go straight down to what we can and then come right back up. Okay, so 10 of each. And then we're going straight into the PVC shoulder circles. So obviously not everyone's going to have this kind of range of motion, but again, just kind of doing what we can, use it as a progression system. So going 10 all the way up and all the way back. So now that we're all warmed up, we're going to go right into the workout. So everything we do here, we're resting about 2 minutes in between, user dependent. So obviously if your client or class needs a little bit more time, that's fine, but we don't want to drag that rest out any longer than about 3 to 4. So the first movement, we have squats, 3x8. Our progression goes from a box, the free air squat, to a goblet. Then we're going right into the overhead press, 3 sets of 6 with a PVC band and then kettlebell. Stagger stance, RDLs, 3 sets of 8 with body weight, a band, and then a kettlebell. Bent over rows, 3 sets of 10, seated plus a band, then just with a band standing, and then with just a kettlebell standing. After that, we have push-ups. We have 3 sets to failure, starting with the angled push-up, the knee push-up, and then the full push-up. After that, we have shovel rotations, 3x5 on each side, with a PVC, a band, and then a training bar. Then dead bugs, 3 sets, 30 seconds each, starting with the basic, limbs extended, and then dynamic. So we're going to start from the easiest movement and then work our way to the hardest movement, so you have multiple options, a progression system, and it also kind of tell you where exactly your client's at. So going right in, we have the squat with the box. So here I'm just keeping a good straight vertical torso. My knees track out over my toes, and I'm never losing tension in my core. I'm trying to stay tight, and I'm not fully sitting on the box, I'm just barely tapping it, coming right back up. Here we have the full air squat, so hips track below the knees, knees track out over the toes, and again a big vertical chest. We don't want that chest to come forward. Now with the kettlebell, same mechanics, hips track below the knees, go full range of motion, and with added weight, you want to make sure your client does not come forward with that weight. Big vertical chest the entire time. Now the overhead press with a PVC pipe, you can see he's trying to keep that PVC pipe in the frontal plane the entire time. We don't want it way out in front, we don't want it way behind us. So after that, he's going to go right into the band. Same thing, you can pick a band based on what resistance your client or class needs. So just straight up and control the eccentric portion here. After that, we're going to go right to the kettlebell or dumbbell. Okay, so his core is remaining tight. He has a slightward external rotation at the top. But again, just trying to stay in that frontal plane the whole time. Now we have the staggered stance RDL with just body weight. So you can see one knee will stay soft or bent knee. The other one will stay straight. He has a good neutral spine and hinging at the hips as far down as he can. Then after that, we're going to go to the band. Different foot, same mechanics. We're going to wrap that band around our shoulders. We don't want it too high just to prevent any kind of discomfort. A good hinge at the hips and coming up to full hip extension at the top. After this, he's going to go right to the kettlebell. Good, same mechanics. And again, if at any point the mechanics are no longer sound, you want to lighten the load or go back one progression. See a good neutral spine the whole time. There's no curve or roundness of the back at all. So after that, we have the seated bent over row with a band. So I'm stepping onto the bands here and just trying to do the same movement as a regular bent over row, but maybe I don't have the hip flexibility yet to do so standing. So good controlled concentric and good controlled eccentric. Now I'm standing. So elbows are coming right past my lats. Controlling everything here. We're not trying to go fast. Hold it for about a second up at the top. And after the band, I'm going to go right to the kettlebells or dumbbells. Hinging at the hips, good neutral spine, nice and controlled. After that, we have the angled push-up. So here I have a bar that is coming off on our rig. You can use a wall or anything just kind of lean up on. You can decrease or increase your angle depending on how difficult you need this to be. So just going all the way chest to the wall, chest to the bar, and go into full lockout position. Then I'm going to my knees. Again, chest to deck, elbows at full extension. We want a good neutral back. Core stays tight. And after that, I'm going to go to the full push-up. Again, core tight. Glutes are engaged here. Full range of motion. It's more important to go full range of motion and be on your knees than it is just to do a regular full push-up. Now here we have the shovel rotations with the PVC pipe. So we have a nice and controlled rotation here. You don't want to get undisciplined while you're doing this. The band was a little bit harder than what we were actually expecting, so maybe grabbing a lighter band or decreasing the length of the band. So we're switching in sides. Now we're going to either a curl bar, which is what we had, or you can use a training bar just to increase the resistance or the weight. Again, nice and controlled, 3x5 each side. Now we're going to the basic dead bug. So you can see here his core is nice and tight, his abdominals are engaged. Now he's going to limbs extended. We're doing each one for 30 seconds or as long as possible. And now we're going to the dynamic dead bug. Okay, opposite hand, opposite foot. Again, the feet do not touch the ground. Core is engaged the entire time.